I'm not eating that.
I'm not eating that.
Welcome back to another episode of Your Food Looks Funny, or welcome to an episode of Your Food Looks Funny if you haven't been here before. Your Food Looks Funny is a show helping picky eaters kind of navigate their way through the days of eating things that you just haven't wanted to eat over a lifetime, whether it be early in life, later in life, you never got adjusted to eating it. So if you never checked out the show, welcome. All right. If you also haven't seen anything from this show, make sure you go and check out our social medias, YFLF Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. And also we have a group on Facebook, Your Food Looks Funny. Look us up on there. We have some funny conversations. And today's topic, that might be something I need to mention in there. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about onions. Onions and kind of related items, garlic and such, but mostly onion. So it's part of a series that I've been doing recently in the past few weeks, talking about strongly flavored foods. And we talked about tea last week also, so we slide some drinks in there every now and then. But right now, we're going to start talking about onions. So one major fact that I want to start off with, and maybe it's not a fact, but it's a statement. We'll go with a statement. So a statement, onions. How often is an onion the star of a dish? Take a second, think about it. Okay, time's up. It's not often. I had to go search for onion-related dishes, just straight onion, not onion and something, onion. Okay, it's tough. It's tough to come up with something where onion is the star of the dish. This was originally supposed to be onion and garlic, right? Onion and garlic. But the only problem was when I searched for garlic, nothing comes up. Nothing comes up. The first page of Google results comes up with garlic and the health benefits of garlic. No recipes. So if you type in garlic, it may show you something that says garlicky blank or something with garlic in it in the recipe, but it has nothing to do with the actual title of the recipe and it being a featured part of it. It'll be a flavoring ingredient, and most people aren't just going to make, roasted garlic and then eat it straight up. It's just not, it's not pleasant. It's too strong, which is why you use them as flavoring ingredients in everything. So back to my point here of onion being the star of a dish. So today's show I will run you through a few onion dishes. Some familiar, some not. So when I get to the ones at the end, be prepared for a few button hits on the I'm not eating that. Just be prepared. But 5 dishes containing onions. 3 that I'm sure most people have heard of, and then 2 I just had questions. I had questions. So it was a not top 40, but 40 onion centered dishes on this list. Okay, let's start with number 1. Number 1 is onion dip. Maybe you heard of onion dip, maybe you haven't. Onion dip is pretty good to me. When I was a child, I wasn't a big fan of onions in any capacity. If I knew onions were in it, raw, cooked, the crunchy, whatever that taste and feel was as a kid, it was just so off-putting. But
I'm
now
not eating that.
I'm good with onions. I'm definitely good with onion dip. So onion dip is usually some creamy based dip, sour cream. Maybe you make a base out of maybe some beef base or some French onion soup mix. Maybe you caramelize some onions, you add that to it. It's a good dip. It goes with chips. You can put it on crackers. It's good stuff. It was pretty much a staple on a lot of menus at restaurants that I worked at. Everybody had some sort of onion dip. Maybe they had one on their catering menu or something like that for receptions or something. But onion dip is a good one. I like onion dip. If you're a fan of onion dip, let us know. I didn't say this before, but make sure you give the show a call or you text the show. I need some more voices on here so I can insert your comments and such. But 5577-PICKY is the number to call the show, or for those who like the numerical version, 419-777-4259. Reach out to the show. But onion dip, let me know. Are you a fan of it? Have you heard of it before? the creamy based, a little salty, a little sweetness on the back end there. Goes good with the chips. I like it with crackers myself. But onion dip. We'll move on to the next one. From something cold to something hot. Onion soup. Okay? Your restaurant couldn't call itself fancy if it didn't have this in the appetizer section. So onion soup, again, sort of like a beef flavored base, or, some good deep caramelization in those onions. Get them nice and soft. Maybe have a little crunch in there if you want to, but normally you leave that to the crouton that's on top. Have a nice stiff piece of bread on the top of that. You melt down some Gruyere cheese that we talked about a few episodes ago with the strong cheeses. So if you haven't heard that one yet, go back and check out the strong cheeses. But onion soup with that crouton, that Gruyere cheese, you melt it down on the top of there, get it all nice and crusty around the rim. Okay, maybe crusty wasn't the greatest word to describe some food to people over a podcast, but go look up a picture of it and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right. It's got that nice meltiness around the outside of the bowl. I can almost smell it now, right? Just like an episode being about onions, talking about smells. Hey, don't be eating this and then go tell people that you listened to an episode about onions without your mask on. Make sure you keep your mask on after you eat all this onion stuff. All right. Onion soup. It's one of those classic French things. I'm just not of course, people will throw the word French in front of it too. French onion soup. And they've even started flavoring things as a French onion flavor. Let me give you an example. So onion soup is what we're talking about here as far as an onion dish. Recently, I've seen a couple of restaurants that had burgers, French onion soup burgers. Okay, and I think there was something else that they used French onion soup in, maybe some fries or something like that. But it's basically like they dumped French onion soup on a burger. And I forget what the other dish was, but it just looks so sloppy. I'm like, how do you throw such a refined thing onto a burger or sandwich or anything you eat with your hands? It instantly becomes sloppy. I guess they're trying to bring the more at a high-end dish. It's not even a high-end dish really, but it's I don't know. Just throwing that on the finger food. It's just sloppy to me. It's just sloppy to me. But onion soup, it's okay. It's an appetizer. Maybe some people will use it as a side or, eat that in the salad. Okay, great. Yeah. But how is that a star thing? It's onions and garlic are used in just about everything. And yet it's hard to find it being the star of an entree. Okay. Speaking of entrees, the ultimate compliment as a side, the ultimate compliment that's not fries, right? If you're not getting fries with a burger or with, your fair food or with a fast food item, if you're not getting fries, okay, throw the potatoes out for a second. What's the next thing you think of? If you came up with onion rings, we're on the same wavelength here. Think Burger King, okay? Think Red Robin. Onion rings. Slept on, right? Great snack. Maybe you get a little tied down with the greasiness of being, fried up, but onion rings, they out here. They shining. People are getting a lot more fancy with the sauces I've seen recently. Some of the stuff I can't even remember because it just wasn't. Like, what do you put with your onion wings? I like a sweet Thai chili. Okay, that's what I like with it. A little spice, a little sweetness with them onions. Depends on what the onions were made out of too. And onions got to be thick. You can't have no super thin onion rings. Nothing worse to me than getting a bite of an onion ring and then the inside part comes away from the crust, the breading on the outside. It just separates. That's not pleasant. I want a good clean bite through there. Almost like boxing match. I want a good clean bite through them onion rings. Onion rings. I'll dig it. 3 items right there. Onion dip, onion soup, onion rings. Have you heard of them before? I'm sure you have. Have you had them before? Probably. If you hate onions, you might be hating those 3 things. But let's move into 2 other items that when I saw him, I had to hit the come on face. Who came up with this stuff? Okay. Who came up with this stuff? Now, let me start with the first item because I almost saw it coming when I was scrolling down this list, and it was a Southern like recipe list.
Come on.
Onion cake. That's right. Two words that shouldn't be said together were said together. Onion cake. They also threw a little poppy seed in there too. I don't know. Was that supposed to decorate it a little bit more? But I couldn't dig it. I couldn't do it. I know that onions have different flavor profiles. Some can be stronger, some can be sweeter and such. But do I want onions in a cake? No. 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 I know my wife ain't eating it. She don't eat cake, and she fickle about certain combinations that just ain't supposed to go together. So as soon as I finish recording this and I see her, I'm going to ask her, hey,
I'm not eating that.
You want me to make some onion cake? And she's going to look at me with the strangest face and be like, what? Yeah, that's pretty much the collective thought of pretty much anybody who's probably listening to this. Onion cake. Have you had onion cake before? If anybody's had onion cake before, you're probably the first. That's a little exaggerative, but and I don't know if I just made that word up. As I've said before on this show, I went to culinary school. I was not an English major. The next item and final item of the 5, 2 strange ones, 1 onion cake. Number 2, the cheese stuffed onion. Let that sink in for a second. Let your mind build a picture of what I just said. The cheese stuffed onion. Okay, not onion rings with cheese on it, which I could possibly see. You know, it's bar food. I could possibly see that. We're talking an onion, like a roasted onion that has been stuffed with cheese. I'll wait for your stomach to catch up to me. Okay, let the growl sink in. Let your mind wander. Let the face scrunch up just a little bit. A cheese stuffed onion, and it looked disgusting. They had a picture of it. It looked disgusting. Disgusting. I don't know how many times I can say disgusting. It might be the best thing in the world. Okay. It outpaces chitlins. I already know that, and I ain't had either one of them. But a cheese stuffed onion, If anybody's willing to make this, please show me what would the health benefits be of this. It's got to be something. It's got to be some reason somebody chose to stuff an onion with cheese. I didn't even take the time to see what kind of cheese it was because I couldn't think of one that I would be like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. No, none. But again, take the time. Let me know what you think about that. Again, call the show. You can get your voice on there, slide you in one of those quick time slots. Doesn't have to be long. Don't be shy. Call up 419-77-PICKY. You can also text the show 419-777-4259. They'll repeat that after this show goes off. But that will pretty much be it for today's episode. Not really going to get into garlic. The only thing I thought of as a bonus there, and I'll let you know with garlic, if you thought of garlic bread, kudos to you. Because that was the only thing I could come up with where garlic was kind of the shiner. But really, it's the bread, if you really think about it. But garlic it is. So onions and garlic was the topic. Thank you guys all for listening. We're still in the middle of some strongly flavored foods. Next week, I might continue it. I'm getting ready to take a little detour to Chicago, so I might be influenced by some food while I'm there. If I do get influenced, which I'm definitely going to eat some, I might interject that episode in the rotation. If not, we'll get back to the strongly flavored food. Still have a few more to talk about. So if you haven't checked out the rest of them, go back and check out Cheeses NT. And we have a few more upcoming. But again, thank you for listening. See you guys on the next one. All right.
I'm not eating that.
Make sure you're following us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to Your Food Looks Funny. And call or text or reach out to the show and let us know what you think at 419-77-PICKY or 419-777-4259.